Smashes the brick wall. And we are live. Welcome to another episode of Unfiltered Live. As you can see, Alex and Lizzie are with me again, and we have a special guest down in the bottom corner. That is our friend, Halen. How you doing tonight, Halen?
Good. How are y'all?
I'm good. I'm here, man. Slid in on two wheels, but I'm here.
I hear you.
That's what we do right there.
Yeah. That's right.
Oh, yeah. Fly by the seat of our pants, man.
Yep. That's the best way to fly, right?
Yep. Yes, it is.
I think that's the way that all of us are nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I come by it honest.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as you may or may not have known, I don't know how you don't know by now because it's been everywhere, but things have been happening in the world recently that have a lot of people scared and have people wondering when they can stand up and how they stand up, and quite frankly, are they going to be harmed for standing up? But that's why we're here tonight to talk about it, because I mean, I don't know about you guys. I was a little sad at first on Wednesday when I heard what happened to Charlie Kirk, and I'm still sad because I mean, a man died, right?
Yep.
But I also feel a little more emboldened. Like, how dare you try to stop us?
Yeah. Definitely.
I will tell you where I'm at and what I felt and why I felt it. So obviously I was pretty grieved. I went on about my day and whatever, but I was grieved because and also it was a realization too at the same time, because for one, you're sad that someone obviously was killed, and if you've seen the video, it's very graphic. When you replay that in your mind, just you start thinking about, well, 1 second that person was alive, next second, or even that one day, they had his casket come in. What was it, yesterday? And that day before, the man was walking around, throwing out hats,
Yep.
and had, didn't know, and it just shows you how fast that life can be gone. That's one part of it. But the main thing for me was, it's a realization of the world that we live in as Christian believers. As, we're on here doing a podcast, and yes, it is a small podcast. I mean, we're not, a bunch of subscribers or something like that. But as Christians, I hope people got a realization of what's coming. And it's going to, I hate to say this, and I hope I'm wrong, but it's going to become maybe not killing, but, dealing with these type scenarios and things going on to Christians, persecution, that type thing is coming, and it's going to be more regular. And that's where it hit me of how real this is and how we need to be ready and be in our word and know God's purpose for our life, and we're all, some of us are going to face some very, very tough circumstances coming up, and we have to be ready in season and out of season, as it says in the Word of God.
Yes, sir. What I felt first is it was like a gut punch. I felt sick. Of course, I watched the video. It was going around Instagram and all the social media, but to tell you the truth, man, it at first I felt, sickness, and was thinking about, he left 2 little girls, and I felt sad, but then it made me angry. But now, man, I'm fired up. I'm fired up to spread the gospel and stop being tolerant to evil ideology. It's time as Christians, we don't have to take this. Tolerance is not a Christian virtue. We need to stand up, be vigilant, be kind when we need to be kind, show grace when we need to show grace, but also be vigilant and know the precautions that we're going to have to go through to stay safe, but also don't have the mentality we need to lock up like a fortress and treat church like close our doors. This is the time we need to stand up, preach the gospel, but also be capable as men and fathers and learn how to defend ourselves.
That's true. You're very right. And I like what Halen is talking about, because for years and years and years, we've been kind of forced, because nobody stood up, to just kind of accept what the world has been shoving down our throats, and letting them tell us how we should be, and letting them tell us what we should say, and having to accept what they say as normal, things that are not normal. I'm sorry. A boy trying to be a girl is not normal. I will not accept that. I cannot accept that. What kind of loving person am I if I don't tell you the truth and just let you go on believing a delusion?
Yeah, exactly.
And we can do it in a loving way. We don't have to go and argue with that person.
Right.
And I feel like, when I saw some different people describe Charlie Kirk as being a divisive person, that is not a word that I ever thought of. And now I am on the conservative side of things, but divisive is not a word that I thought of. I thought that a lot of times he handled himself very well and gave people with an opposing view plenty of time and was courteous to them, and use him as an example how to. You don't have to get upset and if you disagree with somebody, give them time to share. Well, and this is another thing, how he was so confident. He knew what he was talking about. And so he would win a lot of these debates because he knew what he was talking about. We need to know what we're talking about. We don't need to just be you're wrong.
Well, all of us opening our mouth all the time. And some people do not need to get online and start running their mouth because they don't know what they're talking about. And you can really hurt the body of Christ more than you're going to help. And I love y'all's take on this. And me and Lizzie were talking about this earlier, and I mean this in a good way. Hey, like someone like you, you're open on what you believe in, and the things that you talk about. You're more raw, which I think is great, absolutely great. And then someone like me or Lizzie are a little more reserved in the way that we may communicate. And CJ's kind of in between there, I would say. He just goes with the flow. But my point on that is, some of us, the way that we interact with people in the world may look different in the way that we correspond with people. And I think that's okay. Now, do we all need to have, it says in our Bible, to be gentle and caring toward other and loving? That's obviously one of the greatest commands in the Bible, is to love one another. So the way that we may do that and communicate may look different, but I think it's from who it's coming from, and then also who it's going to, or who you're speaking with as well, recognizing that situation, discerning the moment, and understanding how to approach. What is y'all's take on that?
My take on it is, I think it depends on the situation and who you're talking to. But we got to think about this, man. Charlie Kirk was one of the ones that tried to bridge the gap between the right and the left.
Yeah.
Right? And they killed him.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. They assassinated him. So I think the time of cooler heads prevailing is almost ended, and I think this can go one of two directions. We're gonna see the left amp up, and you're gonna see the right end up falling into that trap. I think what this is a way to sow division. I'm not trying to get super conspiratorial, but it, like, when I hear people say, like, well, it does, politics aside. No, it's gone beyond that. There's a right and a wrong, and there's a black and a white. There's a evil and there's a good. And I'm sick of hearing this say, well, we need to be bipartisan. No, we don't. When there's 500,000 babies in the womb, they're killing a whole generation. They've already killed a whole generation. So no more bipartisan. We need to call out the evil. And if you think about it, the difference between the right and the left, and you can see the difference is, one, when something happens, there's riots and they're burning crap down, and the other, there's visual and prayer. Like, you can see which one's good and which one's evil. Like it's not a time to be a fence sitter. Like like you got to have the discernment to tell what's good and what's evil. And
Absolutely.
and and the only way you're going to discern that is being in the Word, praying, and asking God to give you that. Like
Yeah.
you can't. Like I mean, I used to be the biggest libertarian in the world, live and let live, and then now I've realized without virtuous people running this society, without a foundation of morality, we're not going to get anywhere. Like it's just going to keep falling apart.
Yep.
So
Yep.
That's right.
True.
Yep. Moral decline.
100%.
It's
Yep.
gonna bring back Jesus. Yep.
yep.
Well, and,
Go ahead.
and two, Halen is right. The moment is coming, and I like to put it this way. I believe that we're all going to come to a point in our life, if we haven't made that decision yet, where you're going to be faced with good and evil. And you're going to have to make a decision between good and evil. And you're not going to be able to sit on the fence anymore. You're either going to choose good or you're going to choose evil. But I think once we choose good, we also have to remember that those that chose evil are still people, and God still loves them, and we don't fight a physical fight with them. We're fighting principalities and demons. It's a spiritual battle. Now, I can't tell you how to not to fight in the natural. If somebody comes up and punches you, you probably need to fight back. I mean, it's just common sense,
definitely.
right?
Definitely. I mean, you got to think. I mean, our pastor always says first comes the natural, then the spiritual. I mean, the devil's going to use people in the physical to do harm. And you got to, I mean, as a father, you got to know how to deal with those threats. And it says the meek shall inherit the earth. And what the meek is, it doesn't mean weak. It means the person that has his sword sheathed and knows when the right time to use it. That's what that means. So,
That's right.
So we got to realize that the threats are real. Don't panic, but get after it. If you're a man, go get after it, man. Stop watching football on Saturday drinking beer. Go to the gym, lift weights, be the most physical person you can be. Get this. So I wanted to speak on this. They were interviewing the world's most the most notorious child predator, right? I'm going to try to be as TOS as possible since we're on Facebook. They were interviewing this guy, and they said, what made you go after the people that you went after? Because he didn't discriminate. He went after black, white, boys, girls, whatever. And he said, what made me not go after that child was I looked at the father. And if the father was a threat, I didn't try to get that child. So, so every man needs to be a threat. Evil needs to look at you and be like, I don't want to go after. I don't want to have nothing to do with that. You got to be spiritual and physically fit to take on what we're about to have to deal with as Christian conservatives, and as a generation that's in the time of Noah. I believe it's coming. So,
100%. Alex, they're telling me you have an echo. Let's. I don't know what we can check. I've tried to check it, but if you guys want to expound a little bit more on that point, we can check the echo.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, from the women's side, obviously it's different than y'all's side. But yeah, I mean, as a woman, that's what I want for my husband to be like that. And he is.
She wants me to be like that. That's nice.
Yeah. She's calling you out, Alex.
Calling you out. She said you better go. She said you better go to the gym, buddy.
Let me take a note here. What I need to do.
But I mean, obviously, what I need to be is different than what y'all need to be.
Right.
But like I was saying, I feel like it's time for people, and God's been working on me with this for years, but it's time for us, like I said, to be confident. And when you're talking with someone else in a loving way that disagrees with you, like maybe their political views are different, or even some of their religious views are different. Like, you need to know what you're talking about when you're talking to them. and love them and believe what the Word of God says. Like, I had to make a decision. I remember working in public school and talking about certain things, and then I had to other Christians. I'm talking to other Christians, and they're disagreeing with me about maybe gay marriage or something like that, and I'm like, okay, this is uncomfortable for me. I don't like to talk about it. It hurts me, makes me feel uncomfortable. But I had to make a decision if I'm really going to believe the Bible. Am I going to pick and choose? No, we can't pick and choose. That was something
Right.
I was talking to Harper about this morning when we were getting ready for school. And I'm like, we have to believe all of the Bible. It's all or nothing.
Yeah.
We cannot pick and
Yeah.
choose. And we have to be able to communicate it in a loving way. I don't have to argue with someone, but if I'm, maybe it's different for me as a woman, but if I'm communicating it in a loving way to somebody, I'm hoping that it comes off and that they can see that I'm being genuine, and that hopefully that helps them. So I'm obviously not going to approach it in the same way as y'all.
Well,
Right.
I'm more like that too. That's going to be my first intent, is to come at it in a loving way. But, I think this is kind of what Halen's pointing out too, is there comes a time when someone is becoming violent with you. You're not trying to answer with violence, but you do need to be able to protect yourself, and you need to be able to read the moment, like we were talking about, to be able to maybe bring the temperature down, however you're going to do that. But do not relinquish your beliefs, what you believe in, and that's the part that's coming. That's the part that's going to separate, like from the tares, and you're going to start seeing true Christians, because people, just go into the Bible here, just like Judas, when the time came, when it got real, when the times got real and things were about to hit the fan, people say, we saw who was real and who was not. And I think that's going to start happening more frequently. But the one thing that I do hope that comes from this is, I hope that I saw a post that someone had made that said, I'm assuming, I just call it the left, but more the radical side of that has lost a generation, and that's referring to these people, these young people that were, up and coming, and some of them obviously listening to Charlie Kirk and some people like that, that come to Jesus, or start doing some research, start seeing, why did they kill this man? What was he doing wrong? If they shot him, he must be bad, something. And so I hope that starts to spark something in some of these kids.
And I think it will. There's just so much that we've talked about so far that I agree with wholeheartedly. Like Halen said, we can't be bipartisan anymore. Maybe we could in the 60s, back when the parties were different, but we can't now. Things have gone so far in either direction that you can't be bipartisan anymore. You just can't.
Yeah.
No.
And even from a couple of years ago, people said that you couldn't be bipartisan anymore. But you're seeing it even more so now. It was like,
right,
as things happen, you're like, man, we really didn't know what in the world we were talking about. And it just, as it progresses, it's like you start seeing even more clear divide coming out.
You're right.
Yeah, yeah. I like what you said though, Alex. Is everybody's got different skill sets, and we need different people doing different things. Like,
yes,
you said, you come at it in a loving way, but we also need great debaters that are really good at apologetics, that have that kind of blood sport mentality. We need those guys too. We need it, because everybody comes to Christ differently, whether it's through emotion, whether it's through beauty, art, or whether it's through a logical argument. Mm-hmm. So, we gotta be well rounded. We gotta be able to, as men, we gotta be able to, like David, we gotta be able to, one day we're writing beautiful poetry and songs, and the next day we might have to stack some Palestinians. That's just how men have to be. I'm being real.
I love
Like,
that.
I'm being real. Like like David knew how to turn it on when he needed to turn it on.
That's
Like
right.
that, like, and if you're a man that is afraid of conflict, then brother, you're not a man. You're not you like you're like you're not you're not going to win this battle. Like, it's not going to happen. So
Right.
uh we just got to be well rounded. So
And like you said earlier, you cannot do this unless you're in the Word and you're praying.
Yeah.
Because I
yep,
mean, what's the point?
yep,
You're going to be destroyed. Like somebody else is going to
And they're
destroy you.
prepared.
They
They're
are.
prepared.
They're prepared, and you're going to be destroyed. And if anybody's there around you, they're going to be like, "Oh my gosh, like that person just got destroyed. Did they even like?" And they're going to possibly question what they
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah.
So we've got to
yep,
know what we believe and be confident for the other people around us.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It's true.
Some people, if you are not studied up in your word, you don't need to be speaking out. You need to
Yeah.
keep your mouth shut, because you're just going to do more harm than good. And ultimately, you're going to answer for that. When you get to heaven, that's the things that you're going to answer for. So we all have to be very careful and use choice words that are going to make an impact, and not just run our mouth from
Yeah.
within us as our fleshly
yeah,
side, but what flows through the Holy Spirit.
And that reminds me, and I know y'all have seen it too, but people, like Alex was saying, that don't need to get on there and say something. There are people that are running their mouth on the side, that is upset about Charlie Kirk, that he was killed, on that side, that are running their mouth saying things that they shouldn't be saying. That is honestly kind of embarrassing. And then you have the people on the other side. I've seen people that are, laughing about it, mostly not people that we know, but, other videos. And they're like, I'm glad, killed one Nazi down or something. And I'm like, that's crazy. But people that are supposed to be on our side that are saying stuff that's just embarrassing. You need to learn how to hold your tongue. People need to learn how to discern.
Yeah.
And I'm sick of people just saying stuff on the internet that you wouldn't say to somebody's face. Like, I mean, we got to stop that.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, you're
Well-
100% right. Because
Just-
that's the
Well-
weird thing about the internet. It emboldens
Yeah.
people to just say what they want to say without any fear of repercussions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
Exactly.
filter at all. I mean, like things that they would never say to somebody in person.
Right.
Yeah. Well, on a little bit different note, so Halen, I know. So if some of the people watching don't know kind of your background, you're obviously a gun guy, safety, what have you, being prepared,
Girl
that kind of
dad.
thing. Girl dad, But I think what are some things that we can do as a family as a whole to be prepared? And obviously we know reading the Word of God from a spiritual side, we
yeah.
know kind of what we need to do there, but from a physical side, what are some things that people can do? And you obviously mentioned one a second ago, as far as being in the gym, things like that.
You said you gotta go work out.
Got to go work out. I know. I'm planning on going here after this show. I'm gonna hit the gym. But so, what are some things that we can do as a family to be safer? Some things that we might can implement, whatever.
Well, from a like a home defense side, you need to have plans on if something happens, what your family needs to do. The first thing that I definitely would do is get a good camera system, so you know what's going on at your home. But know your house inside and out. Know where the strong points are, like where you would post up, all that good stuff. And but I mean, protection just doesn't go in the self-defense, like someone's going to break in. I mean, if you have 5 AR-15s and not a fire extinguisher in your kitchen, then you statistically you're going to have a fire before someone kicks in the door and tries to harm your family. So I mean, uh, yeah, definitely, you know, definitely a camera system, um, and a basic understanding of like if you don't have like a lot of people own firearms, but they're just safe queens. You know what I mean? They're in the safe or they're in their truck. It's not on them. They don't train at all. Like if if you don't train with your weapon, then it doesn't it's useless.
Yeah.
So uh, first and foremost, I think in the forefront is definitely if you're a father, physical fitness is the first. Like if you can't move good, I mean you die. That's just how it goes. You don't move, you die. So that's what I would focus on. If you're, I mean, I'm just gonna call it out. If you're overweight, if you're out of shape, go to the gym or start working out at the house. Like, you know, that's your first thing. Like, there's a great quote that, you know how, like, if I ask you, Alex,
Uh-oh.
if I ask you, would you take a bullet for your wife? Would you die for your wife and kids?
Yes.
But would you live for them?
Mm.
You see what I'm
I don't
saying?
know.
He's confused.
Would you
Yes.
live for them? Like what that means is, would you be
Yeah.
physically fit
Yeah. I got you.
and be healthy and live for your family?
Yes.
Like, yeah, exactly. So that's where I would first start off, and then once you have a good camera system in your house, you have contingency plans. You have plans to, like, if you have plans if there's a fire, if there's someone breaks in, what you're gonna do. Like, how are you going to clear the house? Are you going to and it's all situational. I mean, like used to, I'd get up real early. So my wife and kid was in one bedroom, and I'm sleeping in the other. So my plan is I'm going to I'm going to try to address the threat as I'm coming up, but I'm getting to a strong point in that bedroom and holding up in there, right? Uh, but um, so all that, if all you have all that down, uh, the next thing is get training with your firearm. Uh, get good with it. Uh, if a biblical example is David. Like, I love everything about David, so I'm probably gonna a lot of these examples are gonna be on him. But when he took down Goliath, they gave him that armor, and he said, "I don't know this armor," and gave it back. It was too
Yeah.
big for him. It was
Yeah.
clunky. He didn't know it. He didn't train with it. I know God had everything to do with that story, but do you think that David went and took down Goliath and didn't have any time with that sling? He knew
Absolutely.
that sling in and out. He knew what stones flew better than other stones,
Yep.
which stones hit harder than other stones, because he trained with it.
Yep.
So get decent training, um, and carry every day. Every day. I hear men say, "Well, it's uncomfortable." Yeah, it's a big metal thing in your pants. It's gonna be uncomfortable. Like, hey, it is what it
Someone does
is. Like,
that.
suck. Yes, suck it up, Buttercup. Like, carry every yeah, carry
Oh,
every day. Have a EDC. That
taking notes
means
over here.
yeah, it means every day carry. Every day carry. Have a firearm. Have a flashlight. Have a knife, and have a tourniquet. And the
That's a good
second
point.
thing is, after you get a little bit of firearms training up under you, go get medical training. If you have
Yeah.
something to poke holes in people, you need to have something on you to stop those holes from bleeding.
Right.
Okay,
So
question. I'm sure you have safety measures for your child not getting into any of that stuff? Is there anything that you do to like? Do you always have a knife on you? Is it ever in your car? Like, I know she's getting a little,
You
but
usually most of my stuff is usually on me. Um,
okay.
you can get a safe for your guns, but also have quick access uh safes, like where you can, like, whether they advertise that thing all the time, the stop box. You can get to it, but your kids can't. Things like that. But also with children, make it normal. Like,
Mhm.
teach them gun safety early. You know, like, yeah, and
Yeah, that's a great point.
don't push training on your kids or anything like that. But if they like, hey, you want to, like, if they ask, hey, can I go shooting, go shooting with them, teach them gun safety.
Yeah.
So it's not so it's normalized in your household, like they know, they yeah. So uh but when it comes to all this, it's really like there's so many directions we can go with the training aspect and where to start off at. What I thought a long time ago, a lot of my views have changed. So, because like used to, I would say, have as many guns as you can and all that. But now I'm just like, uh, first start off with, what you're going to do as a family if, these different situations arise. And then, if you carry a pistol on you every day and you train with it, you dry fire, things like that, you're ahead of 90% of people on the population.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah, so
Yeah, I think it's important at this point to say that we are Christians, but we also have a brain, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
God
yeah,
gives us common sense. So these things are a lot of common sense. The one thing that you want to remember is anytime a gun comes out, whether you bring it out or an enemy brings it out, the situation escalates. If you've ever paid
yeah.
attention, anytime a gun comes out, anytime a weapon comes out, if you are around a police officer, that situation immediately escalates because there is a infinitely higher chance of a life being taken, and you need to treat that weapon like that. You're not going to
Yeah,
pull it out
Yeah.
to scare somebody. You're not going to pull it out for any other reason than you feel like your life is threatened and you have to defend it.
Yeah.
yeah,
If you're going to
yeah, and
carry, then you need to have some training with
Yes.
that firearm. You need to
yeah,
take the time and be responsible enough to get some training.
Well, and you
Not
need
just
some
willy-nilly, like,
You need some
Period.
muscle memory with that weapon because you can't be
Exactly.
looking at your weapon while in a dangerous situation.
exactly.
I can go to. Here's the thing: I can go to the gun range and I can just see how someone is manipulating their firearm, and I can tell whether they do it a lot or not.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
So uh, it and another thing too is not every situation, like you were saying, Alex, have verbal judo. That's what
Yes.
I call it, verbal judo. Know how to de-escalate things and bring
Mhm.
the temperature down.
Yeah.
But also, like, I tell people, I keep, and a lot of men will like make fun of this. They'll be like, "Oh, you carry pepper spray?" Yeah, I carry pepper spray everywhere I go because I'll tell people I'll leave the house without my gun before I leave the house without that pepper spray. That uh, they make It's called palm spray. It's like $12 on Amazon. It's some of the best pepper spray you can get for to carry. And
Mm.
what I call that's in between a harsh word and a mag dump. Like, we've got past harsh words, but I'm not quite there to pull my firearm. So, and
Good.
so,
I
like, yeah,
yeah.
Hey,
yeah. I
there's
mean,
sorry, I was gonna say there's a couple ladies in our town that carry spray with them. So
yeah. I don't know if I'd carry wasp spray. I'd probably invest in the
Nail.
$12 palm spray.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
but
I just
I mean,
telling you, Some 80-year-old
Yeah, I
women.
think it. Yeah, I mean, a lot of things can be solved with a good can of pepper spray. Like if you can't see, you can't fight.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
like, and it looks better in court too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you
That's
know,
$100.
I didn't beat the guy's head in the concrete, and I didn't put federal HST in his chest. Like
okay.
pepper spray looks good, you know.
Do you know anything about those Berna things? Have you seen those?
Yeah. So on the Berna things,
Mhm.
um, I would I would stray away from things like that because I've seen people. Are you talking about the pepper ball things?
I don't know what exactly it is, but I hear advertisements of it on the radio, and it's like it will incapacitate somebody for like 10 minutes. I'm like, that sounds terrifying. Like I still don't want to incapacitate somebody, and I don't want
Yeah.
somebody
Well,
to incapacitate me. you know?
well, the things like that. The bad part about that is I've seen videos of guys just taking stuff like that and keep coming. Like a lot of times it doesn't work, and
Okay.
I don't know
Yeah.
how I don't know how reliable that kind of stuff is either. Like I've heard reliability issues with non-lethal projectiles like that. So I would kind of stray away from that.
Okay. So pepper spray number one.
So obviously we're 37 some odd minutes into this thing. And CJ, you direct this where you want it to go. I did want to, before we get too far gone here, um, Halen, I think it would be great for some people that are watching now or watching in the future to kind of go through how you got to where you're at, and I mean that in the way of where you're at in our church, and obviously kind of in I'd call it leadership within our church, ministry team, whatever you want to call it. Can you just kind of, and it doesn't go as long as you want on this, and how far back, whatever, but can you just kind of give us an idea of your testimony, where you were at, you know, regarding Christ and your beliefs and kind of where you're at now and how you got to that point?
Okay. Yeah, my faith journey has been kind of a roller coaster. So, and what I mean by that is, um, I got saved when I was 12.
Okay.
Uh, my grandmother on my dad's side, she set me down, explained the gospel, and I got saved that night and got baptized at North Park. And
Okay.
uh, but when you're 12, you don't really like in your head you're thinking like, oh, I'm gonna say this because I want to go to heaven, but you don't. The way I say it is my faith was built on a foundation of sand.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't understand the basics of the Trinity. I didn't, you know what I mean? Like say this prayer and you're saved, and I, God bless them. It's nothing to do with them, like that's what we're called to do, to to. But I grew up in a household that, uh, when my dad got custody of me when I was 5, and on my grandmother on my mom's side, I stayed there all week, and then my dad would pick me up on weekends, and thank God my dad got custody of me because like my mom was strung out on drugs, and there's no telling where I would be. So he's definitely my hero. There's no telling where I'd be without him. Uh, but I wasn't made to go to church. Like we didn't go to church on Sundays. We did, you know what I mean? Like my dad's
Yeah.
Christian, but like nobody was pouring into me. Nobody was explaining these things to me. So I think I went through high school. I didn't think nothing of it. You just tell people, hey, yeah, I'm a Christian. I believe Jesus died on the cross for my sins, and go on about your day. And so when I turned 8, it was about 18, I met Casey and started going to Solid Rock. We started dating, and still don't know nothing, like nothing about anything biblical. any theology, nothing. Didn't, wasn't interested in it. And tell you the truth, I'm gonna be honest. I just went, I knew Casey went to church, want to impress, my future wife. I'm gonna go to church. So, well, the thing about having a foundation built on sand with your faith is anybody coming into your ear, you'll get swayed that direction.
Yeah.
Anybody with the better argument, you'll get swayed that direction.
Exactly.
So, I don't know, probably like 3 or 4 years into me and Casey's relationship, it might have been two. I can't remember, but we split up for about 6 months, and before that even happened, I kind of strayed away from the faith. People would, if someone, my family, I tell my family I'm Christian, but I would, I really was, I was about a pretty much atheist. Like I didn't believe.
Yeah.
And, so those, we broke up for 6 months, and then I went off the deep end, where I'm partying, I'm drinking at work. I worked at a gun warehouse, and man, it was like the guys I was hanging out with. I mean, we're drinking on the job,
Yeah.
and then every weekend we're going to the club, and we're going, Tin Roof, Birmingham, and just being an idiot, and and thank God Casey, she's, I come groveling back, like, oh, I want you, babe, blah blah, all that good stuff. So she, but even after that, man, it was, I still, didn't really. I mean, to tell you the truth, I really didn't believe anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd have, arguments with people, your basic arguments like, well, if God loves us, why would he let bad things happen, And so, and I still was drinking come home, drink enough to be, decently, inebriated. And what's crazy is, I mean, Casey picked me up from a friend's house, and had throwing up. And the crazy thing is she, like, didn't get preachy with me. She just picked me up, drove me back home. The next morning, we'd have a conversation like, hey, you need to do better. But like, she didn't really, and that's the thing about a moral woman. They can see things in you that you can't see yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So, and a lot of this stuff, I try not to be emotional. I don't really run off emotion. It's hard for me to, but, so going through a relationship, I asked her to marry me, got married, still, like, I was going to Solid Rock and everything, but I didn't, I wasn't dedicated. I wasn't, as Paul said, crucifying the flesh every day. I wasn't getting in the Word, none of that. And I think one day it was just like, you're like, what are you doing? Like like, I love debates. Y'all know, I'll debate a rock. I don't, like, I can argue with a rock, dude. It wasn't a logical argument. It wasn't emotion. It was just like, one day I was like, what am I doing with my life? Like, where's this going? Like,
Yep.
so I ended up being more involved in church, and that kind of sparked the catalyst of my faith. Like, you hear Christians say, you don't need the church, you don't need the gathering. That's a bunch of bull crap, because that's what sparked me getting more involved in church and wanting to serve, sparked that catalyst of, like, built my faith up. and then it started becoming, a curiosity. Like I started listening to apologetics. I started listening to Mike Wingers. I started listening to Charlie Kirk's, and then they were making arguments that were logical to me, and then
Yeah.
that was it. Like that's all I
Yep.
like. So you could say that I refound my faith through logic, through arguments of morality, like things like that.
Yeah.
So uh and then it's one of those things where uh once your faith starts building back up and you start, you praying, like I just started praying again, started really thinking on these things, and that was it, man. Like that's
Yeah.
like now it's Jesus is the only way. Like there
Mm.
is no other way. So uh so it was really a roller coaster for me, but now it's, now I know, like there's no other truth.
Yeah.
So but that's pretty much my story. I mean, it's not that exciting. I know other people have crazier testimonies, but
Yeah.
uh but that's why I say, people can find God in all kinds of ways. Like, and a lot of times it's through that, that roller coaster of up and down, up and down, up and down, that
Yeah.
it makes you strong. It makes you stronger in your faith because you're being curious. You're listening to different arguments from different sides, and that's the thing. The truth always comes on top.
Yeah.
It always comes out on top. So
Yeah.
if you keep seeking, it just leads you to the same place, and that's Jesus Christ. So
That's right. Well, I like to tell people God's not Tinkerbell. He doesn't require us to believe for him to be true. He is. He just is. It is to your benefit to believe. You believing or not believing doesn't change whether what he said is true or not.
Mm.
yeah, yeah,
To his absolute truth. And I've seen, Halen, that story just kind of made me relive the past couple of years as I've grown to know you more at church, and I know we cut up and stuff and talk, but I remember when you first started coming, and I kind of knew, just I could just tell. Obviously, you weren't very involved, like listening and things like that, and I
well,
just kind
half the
of
time I was hungover, dude.
maybe that's what I was noticing.
Maybe.
But and I kind of been in that same boat where when I really started getting back involved in church, and this was years and years ago, but I started going to the youth nights and everything. But my motive was my wife, now Lizzie, was to be able to see her, and then half the time she wouldn't even show up. So then I was just there, and
Yeah.
but I don't care the way that God does it. God's got his ways, and he knows what he's doing more than we do. And if that's what it takes to get somebody saved and in church, and God knew what he was doing with you in that moment, even if you didn't know, God knew exactly what he was doing. And it wasn't something, I'm not saying people didn't pressure you, but when you came, I don't think people tried to jump all over you. I
No.
hope not. That people just tried to love on you, and let God have his perfect work in you,
Wow.
and let God do what.
Yeah, that sounds good and preachy. I was gonna say too, I know a lot of people were praying for you. I know a lot of people were praying for you back then.
Yeah.
A
Oh
lot
yeah.
of people
Yeah.
were praying
Absolutely.
for you
Oh
behind
yeah.
the scenes
100%.
Yep.
because we just kind of knew, just you were coming into the Irie family. Okay, everybody knows in our church the Irie
Well,
family.
the Iries were praying for you.
And so
No, yeah.
everybody was praying because we're like, we know we know what kind of man he's going to have to be a part of the
Yeah,
Irish family.
exactly. It takes a strong man to be
Yeah.
married to an Irie.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, and I'm it takes a strong woman to be married to a faggot, man. Like we have, bro, we opinionated, get angry really quick, all that good stuff. So, uh, but man, I gotta say, my wife grounds me, man. Like when, like like I'd be,
Yeah.
uh, I'd be, there ain't no tell, man. I used to fly off the wall, just anger, resentment, just don't know why. Like I had a good childhood. Like I didn't have a bad childhood, and don't know why, But now it's like even my wife will tell you it's a 180. I mean, I still got progress, I got a long journey, but that's the beautiful thing, man. It's the Orthodox call it theosis, and the Protestants call it sanctification. It's a everyday journey, man. Like
Yeah.
every day,
Yep.
you gotta, like Paul said, you gotta crucify the flesh every day. It's not. Oh, I'm good now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Halen, before we end this thing, I want to go back over everything that we've talked about. I want to talk about the steps that you talked about to helping secure your family and being a better man in Christ. So first one,
Yeah.
obviously, you got to get saved. You got to.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no option without it. Once we're saved, then what are the other steps?
I mean, be in the Word. As much as you can be. Don't make excuses. Be in the Word. But also find a purpose. Like find a skill set as a man. Like men and women have different ontologies, man. If we don't have a purpose, like if we don't have a direction, or like how am I going to use my skill set to advance the kingdom, then we're like lost puppies. So and that's one thing that I'm finally realizing, like, I'm thinking of ideas. I'm thinking of ideas to build the ministry I want to build. And so be in the Word every day. If you struggle with something, have someone that can accountability. It doesn't matter if it's a best friend, a brother, a father, or a wife. Like have somebody to hold you accountable for things that you're struggling with.
Yeah.
So and make sure that accountability partner is someone that's not gonna have judgment against you or anything like that, but it's gonna set you straight. Like that's one thing. I have I keep my circle small, but I have dudes in my corner that will be like, "Hey, moron, stop doing that." Like they just said it to me straight. Find somebody that will tell you the truth. So and also just be careful what you listen to and what you let in. Like like on any we're in the age of like what we're doing right now, podcast. Like be very careful of because I struggle with that. Like like I'll start listening to this guy or this guy, and then it just throws me in a world spin of like well, maybe I'm at the wrong denomination. Maybe, like it's just, so just be very careful, like with what you're listening to. Be mindful of the people you're letting in your life, but also like just keep in the Word and building your faith up, building that foundation. Have a good, like, build that foundation where there's nothing that can, it's super hard to penetrate, like,
Right.
and there's going to be good days and bad days, but just count your blessings every day, like, and don't get discouraged. Like you're going to get knocked down, but it's you got to get back up, dust yourself off, and keep on trucking. Like this isn't a one day thing. It's a journey, and it's not going to be easy. Like the walk's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it in the long run. It's going to be worth it.
Right.
This ain't nothing but a blip in eternity. I mean, just a very small blip.
Yeah. Oh, very small blip. And yeah. So yeah, step one. Once you're saved, uh, figure out like be in the Word. That's the biggest thing, man. Like you know, all like the Word. Pray all like if you don't know what to pray for, something that I've been implementing is just the Lord's Prayer.
Hmm.
Like I
That's
don't know
good.
why, but that amps me up. I say it in the morning, say it in the evening, say it at night.
Yeah.
Like if you don't know what to pray for, He told you how to pray.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, um, uh, I mean it's simple, but always find excuses not to do it as human beings, man. We
Yep.
always
Yeah.
find excuses. I can't do
Yeah.
it. I'm tired. I'm this. I'm that. But
Yeah.
uh, yeah,
Well, a lot of times we don't even do the simple. We don't even do the simple things. We don't even do
Yeah.
the elementary things, the very basis things, to be able to then build our faith. And like you're talking about, so many Christians, and I've been there, our foundation has been built on sand, and when things go wrong, that's when it's uncovered and we start sinking. And just like you're taught, the things that you're mentioning to do post being saved are bedrock foundation items that you have to do as a Christian to have
yeah,
a strong foundation. And if you're going to stand in this day and age as a Christian for what you believe in, then you've got to do the things that Halen's talking about here. Get in your word. And I know that that's what we always go back to, but it is the absolute truth. Get in your word, and then you got to be in prayer. You've got to know what God is doing, and when God is speaking to you, you need to have. I hate to call it this, but practice. You need to have practice, and you need to know when the Holy Spirit is speaking and when He is not. And a lot of times that's when we start running our mouth, is when we think we can hear from the Holy Spirit and we ain't hearing nothing but ourselves talking.
That's
And
right.
that's a
oh yeah,
problem. We have got to be in our word. We have got to be in prayer, and we have got to be attentive to the Holy Spirit. And that's where that discernment. We need to be praying for discernment. So
That's right.
that's great,
well,
Halen.
w-
Hey, I was
well, in
gonna
this
add
day
one
and age,
more.
you have no excuse. I mean, you can throw on the Bible app
Yep,
while you're driving,
Yeah.
and
that's right.
for centuries, early Christians just had listening to it. Someone would like, and until the Reformation, we didn't have Bibles readily available. You had to go to the church and listen to somebody, speak it.
Yeah,
So if all you can do is listen on your Bible app, do it. Like I know you're in your car bumping crap music that you don't need to be listening to anyway. So uh,
That's right.
yeah, just put it on, let it play.
Yep.
So
yeah,
Hey,
All
another
right.
thing that I found, because I struggle with listening to the Bible app because I feel like it's like so monotone. I'm just like, oh my gosh. So there's people that have podcasts where they read the Bible every day. And so it's actually a person like having a little bit of commentary before and after, and it sounds better to me to hear a person like actually reading it and talking like that day. So that's something that's helped me. I'm doing that with a chronological Bible right now. And Alex makes fun of
yeah,
me all the time because
Well, see, I'm different. Sometimes it's hard, but I'll just open up my Bible. That's
yeah.
just me.
But he
I
can, but I can't because I have children that will just start ripping pages out of the Bible. I'm like, I can't
that
do that.
I'm
Um,
like Alex. I like to have that physical. Like I like
yeah,
to
I want
actually
to,
open it up.
but I'm not
Yeah,
where I can do that right now in
Yeah.
my
yeah.
life,
Yeah.
for the most part, unless I get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning and
Well,
I struggle
the
with
thing is,
that.
just do what you got to do
Exactly.
to get in the Word. I don't
And
care how you do it.
yeah.
Just get
Yep.
into it somehow, and we've got to stop making so many excuses.
Mhm.
There's no
Yep.
reason for it.
So
And it doesn't
number
have to be
one,
perfect.
get saved,
Yeah.
get in the Word, find a purpose, especially
Yeah,
for men. Find some accountability. So once you've
yeah.
built that spiritual foundation, I think what are the next steps for men? I think the first thing you said was to get in the gym and get physically fit.
Yeah, but don't make it an idol though. Don't be like these
Right.
Instagram people that are posing in the mirror and all that. That you're making it an idol. But
Yeah.
yeah, get in the gym, be physically fit. Um, uh, yeah, like that's definitely a big deal. Like and it nowadays it's more, it helps me, my mental, a lot more than physical. Like if I've dealt with crap at work. I'm a truck driver, so dealing with traffic every day, I'm angry. I you know yeah, and then when I
Yeah.
get in there, it's like I'm zoned out. I'm not thinking about anything. It's just that the only thing I'm thinking about is lifting this weight. And then even my wife can tell you, once I started about a year and a half ago really getting after it in the gym, like I'm way more calmer than I used to be. So we got to have an outlet somewhere to get the frustration out. So
Yep.
and then also too, another thing is, if you don't want to go to the gym, get into like a martial art or something. Get into jujitsu. Another outlet. You
There's a
get your
lot on
physical
there.
fitness. You get your physical fitness, and you learn how to strangle people scientifically. So that's great too. It's a win-win. So uh,
Scientifically.
uh, and that's what I've noticed with men is like they're like, man, I'm just having this season. I'm just having this season, and uh, I've stopped having less of those mundane. Is that the right word? Mundane seasons, like you just
Mhm.
feel in a slump.
Mhm.
When you're like, you have an outlet to go to. You have a passion, like uh and you're getting after it every day. Like like stop it. Like we just hear every excuse in the book. Like I don't have time. I don't. It's like, dude, I know guys that work in the gym that work 70 hours a week and still find time for their family and to get in there and get an hour or two workout.
Yeah.
So uh uh it's one of those things like, if we see it in our society, and I hate, I'm going to call out some preachers here, and it is what it is. you know you'll see preachers that they know the word in and out,
Mhm.
but you look and they're 300 pounds, and uh their buttons are popping off their jacket because they can't fit in their suit. And it's like, dude, that's a quarter of a man right there. Like that's a quarter of what you're supposed to be. Like, you got to be well rounded. And I'm not saying you got to be some, like super physically fit dude, or John Wick out here, but you gotta think that our ancestors were uh, a lot more capable than we are today.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
uh, yeah,
It's good.
That's a
That's a
topic
good
for
point.
another day.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
we could have a whole show about that. I feel a little convicted.
If it's just getting you 10,000 steps in a day, do it. That's not.
Yep. Yep.
You know, like
Yep.
No,
we
that's
complain
real.
about
That's
what's.
that's
Yeah.
real. People don't think about that kind of thing, but that's a great point. And yeah, we all need, if we think that we're in the day and age that we're in, we've got to take this thing seriously, and that
That's
means our
right.
health as well. So
So
especially
we're
if we're
building
taking care of our
spiritual fitness. Yep. So we're building spiritual fitness. We're building physical fitness. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Halen, but the other thing you said was have an everyday carry and know how to use it.
Hmm.
Train.
Know how to use. Yeah. Train. Yeah. Train, and be careful who you're taking classes from, because some people are doing bull crap out there. Uh, before we get off this podcast, uh, if you want to learn how to shoot, listen to guys that like Ben Stoger, Matt Prinka, dudes that are at high level guys. Listen to those guys. If you go into a firearms class and all they're talking about is things they used to do, like, oh, back when I was in the military, whatever, run far away. I don't care what you used to do. I want to see that on demand now. I want you to demo what you can do now on demand.
That's
So
right.
like when I train the security team, every time we do anything, I demo it first. I demo it. I let them see I can do it on demand right then.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't want to be the guy that's like back, you know, when I like I'm not, and that's the thing is, the best shooters in the world are civilians. Like,
Yep.
I mean, that's just a fact. Like the grandmasters and USPSA. So, find someone that is you know that is legit and just is, you know, can do what you want to learn on demand. So
That's right.
It's good.
yeah.
That's good. Well, Halen, we certainly appreciate your time tonight, man. It's been an honor talking to you. It's been amazing to remember where you came from to where you are today. Because I remember when you first started dating your wife. Because I had, you know, we all gone to church together forever, so we've known them for I don't know how long. So it's been interesting to watch, and I'm glad you're here with us. Just like I told your sister-in-law about her husband, we'll keep you even if y'all get divorced.
Yeah, oh Lord, no, don't. Yeah, no, there ain't no divorce. She's
There you
stuck
go.
with me. So
That's right. Holding on for dear life.
yeah.
That's right. Well, guys, we certainly appreciate it. Alex and Lizzie, it's good to see y'all. Everybody tell Harper bye.
Okay.
She ran off.
And we will see everybody next week. Thanks for watching. Make sure you are subscribed and make sure you turn on notifications so you get notified when we go live. Thanks again for watching. See y'all next time.
See y'all.